What's up guys, Intentional back with yet another video, and today we're going to be talking about the fresh Classic servers that are coming out. Now I know Classic was going to come out again because Blizzard loves money, so of course they were going to do that to boost their subs and whatnot. However, when I got pinged in Discord for this new Season of Mastery, I kind of got intrigued. It looks like Blizzard isn't looking to just release Classic again like how it was, they are looking to make changes to it, and on top of that, it looks like they want to make it a seasonal thing. Some changes that they're looking to make are with like the rated counters, for example, trying to make them feel like how they did back in Classic, original Classic, so players actually feel like there is some challenge to it. Which I'm kind of debated on this one, because if they're just going to increase the health pool, does that really make the encounter harder or just longer? And they're taking out world buffs, which is a pretty big change if you ask me, because it seems like in Classic WoW, that was like the main focus of the game. Everybody was rushing to get their world buffs. You had to get your world buffs for raids. If you didn't have them, then you weren't going to parse that week, and it seems like parsing was really the name of the game. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see all these parses and whatnot without world buffs. Now, without world buffs, are we going to see different DPS classes kind of rising to the top? I don't necessarily think so. I know warriors are definitely going to get hit by world buffs since they did actually gain so much from it, more so than other classes. However, I don't think it's going to be a big difference when it comes to parsing. They also removed the debuff limit, which is actually a big bonus for a lot of classes. I mean, Affliction Warlock, Moonkins, you know, I play Moonkin in Classic, that's my main, so that definitely changes stuff up. We can use Moonfire and whatnot. So I really do like that change. I think that's a really good change. They're also making leveling faster, which I'm absolutely for. You know, we've gone through the process how many times at this point? Do we really have to take it at such a slow pace again to make it feel like Classic? I'm not sure on that one. Like, just increase the XP rates, we're fine. We can just get to the end game where the game really seems to be. And then speaking of the leveling process, I hope they do something about mages and AoE farming and dungeons and whatnot. I remember playing in Classic. For the first part, it was a lot of fun. People were looking for dungeons. It felt like how it was supposed to feel. But then it very quickly turned into a situation where people were just selling runs. And a lot of people didn't even want to run regular dungeons. They just want to get boosted through, like Maraudon, for example. And they didn't talk about it in this forum post, but hopefully there is talk about the mage boosting and it does get figured out. Because I feel like that was a pretty big problem in Classic. It made it feel like the community wasn't really there. The community just wanted to get carried all the way to 60 and so on. So overall, there's some changes, but not a whole lot of changes if I'm going to be completely honest. And the weird thing is, it looks like they want it to be seasonal. They're looking at like a year of the game. So you pretty much, in 1 year, you start from level 1, go through 60, clear all the content, and then it looks like it's going to just keep repeating like that from now on. Which is kind of an interesting take on it. I know some private servers have taken this approach. However, I don't know if that's really going to be a long-term solution to people that want to play Classic WoW. Like, for example, me. Like, I love playing Classic WoW, but do I want to do it yearly and go through the whole process just time and time after again? I mean, I've gone through it 3 times at this point, and although I am excited for this 4th time, I am kind of like, do I really want to go through that again? Do I want to level up a character, kill the same bosses, get the same loot, you know, etc., etc.? So I think I would like the seasonal thing if they keep changing it every year. And I'm hoping they take the RuneScape approach when it comes to the seasonal stuff, and by that I mean having votes and whatnot for changes in the game. For example, after Season 1, let's say, Balance and Ret Paladin players feel like their DPS still isn't enough even with all the changes, and they want more talents from TBC to help increase that damage. So then Blizzard would put up a poll and go, okay, this is what we can do you players want this? And then the players vote for it, it passes, and then the next season of Classic WoW, it has the talents added in for the Balanced Druids and Ret Paladin so they can do increased DPS. So hopefully after like 3 or 4 seasons we can kind of forge the game that we want to play. But then on top of that, I don't want to go through 3 or 4 seasons, you know, therefore 3 or 4 years to play the game that I want to play now. So hopefully Blizzard takes feedback right off the bat and starts changing things that players really want to do. And I'm okay with the polling system. I think just going off player feedback, you know, whoever's the loudest, isn't necessarily the best thing to do. And although I am skeptical of the Season of Mastery, I am kind of getting hyped for it. And although I do already have suggestions for them to change a few things around, or at least take player suggestions, I do have excitement for this game. And by that I mean the little changes that they've already done, for example the debuff limit, is already affecting how I would play the game as a Balanced Druid. I would be able to actually moonfire. In my classic guild that I raided with, I wasn't able to moonfire because it took a debuff slot, and there's just more important stuff for it, right? So being able to moonfire means I can fish out for more Nature Grace procs, and ultimately just do more damage overall. And that right there is already affecting how I'm going to play the game. And then on top of that, we have no world buffs, which I'm a huge fan of. Now, I know world buffs definitely make the game feel better when you're raiding. However, it just felt like such a chore, and then if you didn't have it, your parses wouldn't be as good, or you wouldn't be pushing as much on the damage meter, and it had a huge negative effect. And I think the no world buffs is going to be highly debated amongst players. You know, let me know in the comment section down below how you guys feel about it. But honestly, I think it's a good change for the game, and I think we're going to see a lot more people doing dungeons and just overall being out in the open world more. But then again, this is another issue I have with Classic WoW coming out again. We have min-maxed the crap out of this game. Everybody knows what you have to do, the best spots to farm things, where to get your best gear in the dungeons, etc, etc. We've gotten to the point where you have a chore list in the game, you go and you check out the chore list, and then you wait for raids so you can get your raid items. And that's essentially where Classic is, or was when Classic WoW was out. So even with all these changes, I'm not even necessarily sure the open world is going to be alive like it was, or what we imagined it to be. And you can't really blame anybody in this situation. You can't blame Blizzard, or you can't even blame the community. I mean, we're talking about a game that's been out for 10 plus years with very minimal change. I mean, it was inevitable for players to figure out everything in the game, and the best way to do everything in the game. And you can get mad at Blizzard for the changes that they make, however, those changes are kind of needed to spice things up in Classic WoW. And I know a lot of people do love Classic WoW, me included, how it is, but you gotta admit, man, after like 4 or 5 times, are you really gonna keep playing this game? Especially with other MMOs coming out. I mean, I'm having a blast in New World personally. So it really becomes a point of, okay, this game is gonna stay this way forever. Do I really want to keep investing time into it? Even though I know how the end game is gonna be, I know the entire journey that I'm going through in the game. You literally have a list of everything that you want to do, / the best way of doing things. So I think the best thing, instead of doing the Season of Mastery stuff, is just to make a Classic Plus game. Add stuff that we want to see. I mean, there's plenty of videos out there going over cut content from Classic WoW that was supposed to be in the game, but simply didn't make it in time. And you can definitely continue to build on these, and make the game what it was supposed to be, if that makes any sense. And like I mentioned before, you can take the RuneScape approach to this and have players vote on if they want these things in the game. But I guess that's the best case scenario, and do we really see Blizzard actually doing this? I don't know. I mean, we've been surprised before. We went from never seeing Classic WoW to them releasing it twice now. Technically 3 times. So I guess anything is possible. I just really want to make this video to kind of get opinions thrown out there, and to really voice my opinion on the whole matter. Am I going to play World of Warcraft Season of Mastery? I'm not sure, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. It kind of depends on what I'm doing at the time, and if I want to invest more time into that game. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys would change for Classic Plus, or what you think of the Season of Mastery and how you would tweak things a little bit differently, or if you like the game just as it is. And if you liked the video, make sure to hit that like button. It really does help me as a content creator, and if you want to see more from me, then hit that sub button. Make sure to have a good day, and peace.